Let's continue with the fifth chapter from your political science book of grade 12, and the name of the chapter is Franchise and Representation. And today we are going to start with representation, meaning and forms of representation. So what is the meaning of representation? In each modern liberal democratic state, the government is formed by elected representatives of the people who carry out all the work of the government on behalf of the people. Okay, that is why modern democracy is called representative democracy or indirect democracy. That means whenever we are going and casting our vote and selecting our representatives, they are taking the decisions on the behalf of the citizens. That's why it is saying as a representative. So whenever we are casting the vote, we are selecting our representative. They are taking the decision on our behalf. So they are saying it is a representative democracy or indirect democracy. Representative means standing for or acting on behalf of the people or a large body of people. Okay, democracy as is currently in operation in most of all democratic countries of world is called representative democracy, in which the people elect their representatives who exercise political power on their behalf. The elected representatives represent the views, needs, interests and demands of the people in democracy. Next, what are the forms of representation? One is a territorial representation and the other is the functional representation. Territorial representation means territory, that is a geographical boundary they are talking about. Okay, each boundary or each area is having their representative on the basis of the area. This is territorial representation. And functional representation means representation on the behalf of their occupation. Okay, now if there will be the election, then candidate on the behalf of doctors, on the behalf of teachers, on the behalf of engineers, like that the candidates will come up. Okay, that is a functional representation. And territorial means according to the area, according to the district, according to the state, the representatives will come up. Okay, representation can be territorial representation or functional representation. When all the persons voters live in a democratic territory, that is called, this territory is being called here constituency, together elect the representative or some representatives, the system is called territorial representation, that is representation on the basis of the territorial constituencies. That means they're talking about the geographical area. When the people belonging to different professions or functions or vocations are given the rights to elect their representatives, respective representatives for exercising political power on their behalf, the system is called functional representative. So territorial representative, I have told you. What is the meaning of constituency? I told you territorial representation comes within a constituency, within a particular area. So what is a constituency? Constituency is a unit of area or a democratic group of people who constitute one unit for election a representative or some representatives. So election of representatives of the people is always done constituency wise, single constituency, and it can be multi-member constituency or single member constituency. So what is single member constituency? Let us get the idea with this kind of a diagram. See the first one, it is saying single member constituency. You can just imagine this box as an entire country which is divided into 6 constituencies. Okay, it is not exactly the geographical boundary of the states, but we are just imagining that entire India have been divided into 6 constituencies right now. Let us just imagine. Okay, so the first constituency is there and it is having a certain amount of area in it. You can say and there are few territories are there inside it, and voters are also there. So from each constituency there will be only one representative. This is a single member constituency. Like for example, we can say in India, okay, India elects 543 members of Lok Sabha. Right now we are having 545 members in Lok Sabha. Okay, and for it we divide the country into 543 Lok Sabha constituencies. Okay, we are dividing the country. Okay, for each constituency one Lok Sabha MP is elected. So the country is divided, is segregated like this into constituencies, and from each constituency we select one representative. So this is called single member constituencies. And what is a multi-member territorial constituency? This means again the territory is divided. Okay, but from each constituency there will not be only one member, there will not be only one representative, there can be many representatives, there can be two or more than two also. Okay, so what are the merits and demerits of this kind of representation? It is a very simple method of representation. First, okay, there is no confusion. Each constituency from there they will just select, and then they are going to be representing us and form the government. So it is very simple. Okay, not there will be no confusion, because entire country at the same time will not have the election. Okay, so each constituency will be monitored well. So direct contacts with the elected representatives, as because the country is getting divided into small constituencies, the representatives and the, you can say, the voters can connect with each other well. Source of unity. Okay, easy way to of identification of constituencies. Okay, better satisfaction of local needs of the local people, more scope of for development. So as the candidates are getting selected from the local area, they understand the needs and demands of the local people. What are the demerits? What are the demerits of this kind of territorial representation? Wrong basis of representation. They are saying this is not the perfect way, because they won't understand. In suppose somebody is a maybe a businessman who got elected, he will never understand what is the need or demand of a doctor, right? That's why they are saying it is a wrong basis of representation. Territorial representation encourages localism. That means everybody will be concerned about his or her own local area. We will not be concerned about the entire nation. Functional representation is better than territorial representation, because they think that only that's now I told you, the businessman cannot understand what does a doctor or an engineer or a teacher needs. So a teacher can understand what is the problem of a teacher, and a doctor can understand what is the problem of a doctor, right? Like that they're saying, trying to say us. And territorial representation can lead to the election of unsuitable representatives. Fragmented representation. Fragmented means it is just breaking the unity of the country. Okay, territorial representation can, when combined with simple majority vote victory system, leads to the election of less popular representation. We will come to this point, what is the meaning of simple majority vote victory system. We will study about it today itself. Okay, territorial representation is simple, but it is very effective. Okay, territorial, there's always supporting that territorial representation is very simple, right? They're supporting it, but they're saying it is not very effective. Okay, so functional representation, I have already explained you what is the meaning of functional representation. Means where the representation will be on the basis of occupation. Okay, a doctor will be representing the doctors, an engineer will be representing the engineers, a teacher will be representing the teachers, and so on. So what are the difficulties involved in putting this function? They are saying that it's okay, that this is a very valid point, that this kind of representation will be very effective, but there are not only teachers cannot, like, a single teacher doesn't mean that all the subjects, there are not only this occupation. We are having, we can say, we are having different streams, and even we are having sub functions also, like a doctor is not a, like, all the doctors are not same. Like, there are surgeons, there are specialists, there are physicians, there are homeopathic doctors, there are so many ayurvedic doctors, so many are there. So if we try to represent each according to the profession, there will be so many categories, right? So we cannot, this is not practically followed by the countries now. So merits. What are the merits? Functional representation is better than territorial representation. Okay, in tune with the social organization, and people are more interested in securing their professional interest than territorial interest. Functional representation can lead to better progress. Social society is pluralistic. Functional representation also stand for functional pluralism. So here we can say that what are the demerits. The demerits are, it is very difficult to divide society into separate functional groups. Each profession involves several related professions which are equally important. Problem pose of professional mobility. So this is actually, I feel it's really not applicable. Okay, as India is having a large, India have been largely using the principle of territorial representation. However, along with it, Constituency of India provides a nomination of 12 members in Rajya Sabha, okay, from the fields of art, science, literature, and social service, right? So though we are having territorial representation, but in Rajya Sabha again we are having few those who have excelled in their field. We find these 12 nominated members of Rajya Sabha is, we can say, functional representation also. What are the duties of these representatives? Okay, the duty is to protect the needs, I can say the opinions, and they are the sources of the people. So they need to protect the interest and welfare of the country, and not only country or the nation, they have to understand the interest of the local people. As they are coming from that particular area, they can better understand what is the need and demand, or what is the interest of those areas. So they have to keep in mind about the development of their constituencies, okay, but with keeping a balance with the nation's development also. So what is voting? Already we know this. What is voting? When the people, that is the voters, exercise their voting right to vote, to process, the process is called voting. Okay, every democratic state maintains a list of voters. That list of voters is called electoral rolls. These lists are periodically revised by adding the new eligible voters and by striking out the names of voters who are no longer alive, or who have left the concerned, you can say, constituencies. Okay, so every year this is getting updated. What are the types of voting? Single voting system means one person will cast only one vote. Okay, plural voting system means there will be voters who will be casting one single vote. Each voter will cast one single vote, but there will be special privileges given to few in the society who will be giving two votes or more than two votes. Okay, open voting means when the voter will be called openly, and the voter will not give any kind of secrecy, any kind of privacy, and openly that person have to cast their vote. That is called open voting. Secret voting means they will be provided a secret ballot where nobody can see whom the person is voting for. System of declaring the a winner in an election. Simple majority vote victory system. Simple majority vote victory system's other name is simple majority vote victory, or you can say relative majority vote victory system. Okay, what is this system? This system is if there are 5 to 10 candidates who got the maximum vote, that person is the winner. Okay, this system is also called first past the post system. That means just imagine like a race, who came first with the maximum vote, that person is the winner. So the first past the post victory system, you can say, is in the counting of votes they only count the valid votes and the invalid votes are rejected, though those are casted, but then also they sometimes get rejected. Okay, so the counting is done by the returning officer and his staff in the presence of all the candidates and their nominees. So you can say that this kind of system is prevailing in India, US, UK, and many other countries are having this. But this system is having one criticism, you can say, that is a person who will be getting maximum vote will win. Okay, we say majority vote. Suppose if we consider there are only 10,000 voters. Okay, this 10,000 voters are voting for 5 candidates. Okay, so if we just keep on dividing, like A got 1,000 votes, B got 1,500 votes, C got 300 votes, D got 2,500 or 700 votes, and E got 100 and 1,800 votes. So who is the clear winner? We can say, just see the diagram here. Yeah, see the list here. So we can say that C is the clear winner because C got 3,000 votes, right? C got 3,000 votes. But is it the 51%? Is it the 51%? Because we were having 10,000 voters, so at least he must get above 5,000, right? He must get above 5,000, but he didn't get above 5,000. He got 3,000 only. Then also he is getting you can say selected or elected, right? Then also he is getting elected because he got the majority. But this majority is not the actual majority, right? He must have secured the 51% vote, but he did not get. Then also he will win because he have failed to get absolute majority. Okay, then also he'll be the winner. Again, this was also having some defects. I told you about the defect, and this is having few merits also. Few say it is a very simple system, okay, and it is fully democratic in nature, and it is very easier for democracy also. Okay, this is the system which maximum time is followed, or you can say this is the maximum followed system all over the world till now.